Clippers fans ought to be sick and tired of hearing about this by now, because I know I am. Now there's reports coming out also about Kyrie Irving once again to the Clippers, but this time it's reports about not Kyrie Irving making them like a, coming to the team, making them like a super team. Now it's reports out there talking about, Kyrie Irving swap Kyrie for Paul George. Now, I'd say several years ago, I would have said, yeah. Maybe back in Kyrie's Cleveland days, somewhere like that. Yeah. But now, hell no. Keep Kyrie where he is. As I said in my other video, I don't need to keep saying this, but keep him where he is. Keep Paul George where he is with Kawhi Leonard. Because under Kawhi Leonard, Paul George will thrive a lot more than Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't want to play half the time, and then half the time he think he knows it all, and which is the reason why the Nets keep failing as a team. Because Kyrie knows it all, and Kevin Durant's a follower, not a leader, like he should be, which is the reason why he hasn't won a championship with his own team as of yet. And on top of that, bad chemistry comes with Kyrie. Bad leadership comes with Kyrie, even though he is a great player and he's one of the top 10 players in the league, if you ask me. It doesn't matter. Winning with Kyrie is very hard because you don't know what Kyrie you're getting. And on top of that, you just don't know whether Kyrie even wants to play basketball half the time. And to me, that's a problem all on its own, because if you can't trust the guy that's beside you to go to war with you every night, unless he's hurt, unless he's injured, then something's wrong. A lot of people talk about players with injuries and how players are injury prone. I've been one to criticize players, maybe not criticize them, but speak, based upon injuries and stuff as well. But you can't really talk bad about a player that's injured compared to a player who just doesn't want to play half the time. And Kyrie is just like that. It was the vaccine. It was the vaccination at one time. One time he said he had to find himself because, he had to find his ancestors and all this other crap. And it's like, Kyrie gets paid millions of dollars. Uncle Drew is what they call him, gets paid millions of dollars. Well, Uncle Drew needs to show up every single night. And this is the reason why there's a lot of these speculations out there about Kyrie Irving, because the Brooklyn Nets are just not for sure they can keep the guy. I mean, they want to because they know his talent is immense. His talent is, second to none hardly. But at the same time, he's just not worth it overall. He's just not what the Clippers need. The Clippers need to keep the core the way they have. I don't want to talk about this really anymore with Kyrie. I mean, if somehow some miracle lands where they do get Kyrie Irving, he better be an addition to the team. He better not take away none of the major players, because like I said, it's no need to take away what you have to add him. And honestly, I don't even think they should get him at all, if you ask me. I think they should look away. Don't look at him at all. I know he's an attractive pick in regards to, what he can do, what he brings to the team and what he can do on the floor, because he's such a great player. But it doesn't matter how great a player is. It only matters their availability. And his availability is different than everybody else's, because other players' availability is based upon injury. His is based upon what he thinks at the point in time, or what he doesn't think at the time of the situation. Kyrie is just mentally in his own space, and everybody else is just a part of it, and that's the way he thinks. And as long as he thinks like that, I don't really see him getting another championship with anybody, because like I said, he's not all into basketball. He's all into so many other things. Basketball is like a secondary job or like a hobby to him, and that's not the way you need to look at this sport if you're trying to win multiple championships and be the best player you can be. He got the one championship because of LeBron James. Cleveland before LeBron got there was trash. Everywhere he's been a cancer to the locker room, and he's always been a detriment to the team. And right now with the Nets, it's the same thing. It's the same thing all over again. So, I'm not going to anoint Kyrie and say, yeah, the Clippers should do this, because like I said, they shouldn't even look his way, if you ask me. And like I said, I think it's stupid that they came up with this about swapping him for Paul George, because I don't think, Kawhi and Kyrie would even fit together, honestly. I think Kawhi would just get, overly dreadful of being around the guy. I think Kawhi would end up leaving the Clippers if he had to play with Kyrie. I just really believe that. I don't know why, but I don't believe him and Kyrie would mesh. Now, as far as if we're doing hypotheticals, KD would mesh with Paul George, I believe, but it wouldn't be the other way around. It wouldn't be no fit to me. It would be like a waste of time. It would just be one of those situations where the Clippers would find themselves on a decline instead of ascending the way I think they are, because the teams they have right now, keep it the way it is. There's no need to put these reports out because I believe these reports aren't true, and I don't want them to be true because I don't think Kyrie should ever be anywhere around Kawhi Leonard. I don't think Kawhi Leonard needs to be tainted with that type of, person around him that's just basically going to bring the whole operation down, same way he's doing in Brooklyn. And I think he'll continue to do that in Brooklyn if they decide to keep him, but don't send him the Clippers way. He doesn't need to come to LA, because if he comes to that spotlight in LA, well, everybody's not built for the spotlight in LA. And trust me, with his attitude and his mentality, he's not built for it. He's better off being somewhere over there in Brooklyn, or, maybe somewhere, maybe, I don't know, Indiana Pacers, San Antonio, or maybe not even that type place, but still, he's built for being somewhere else, not in LA. And I don't want to see him here. And like I said, if it ever came to anything like that about him, I think they definitely need to look the opposite way. Right now, I'm taking Paul George over Kyrie Irving, not just based on the fact of, talent, because talent-wise, Kyrie got more talent than Paul George, I think. But I would say that, more the safe bet would be, Paul George. So the Clippers definitely need to keep their eyes focused there with him and Kawhi Leonard, because that would be Kawhi's, him and Kawhi are buddy for a reason. And I think they should end up keeping Paul George regardless, because like I said, if you get Kyrie in there, it's just a waste of time, waste of energy, and it's just going to knock you back a few years. It's not going to propel you forward. I mean, if that's the case, the Nets wouldn't have got swept against the Boston Celtics. A young team like that swept a team with veterans on there and didn't even get a game. They didn't even get a game out of the situation. So this is what I'm saying. People make all the excuses they want for Kyrie or Kevin Durant or whoever on the Brooklyn Nets. Leave them all over there. None of them need to come to the Clippers, because the Clippers have a good situation right now. And matter of fact, they probably got the best situation in the whole business right now, because honestly, their team is not only the most scary team, they're actually the most well-rounded team in the NBA right now. And I'm telling you, if they add a backup point guard, that'll just make them even more better than what they are. That would make them more solidified, even than what they already are. I mean, that would just put them over the top immensely. So don't bring no distractions in the locker room. Leave Kyrie away. I don't want to hear about these reports no more. Kyrie swapping for Paul George. No, that's not going to happen. And if it does happen, then like I said, Clippers fans, they might as well pack their bags. Y'all might as well pack your bags and go far, far away, because the Clippers will never win a championship if Kyrie Irving's in the jersey, is wearing a jersey, because he just seems to bring things down. He doesn't seem to uplift situations. And I can tell you this much, you'll definitely lose Kawhi Leonard. I don't think, Ty Lue would want to be there much longer, and I think that'd be the end of him. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos. And hey, Khaliis out.